ready? Woo! Sorry about that. Like this morning, I know there's a lot of hiccup. It's Sunday morning. It's very early. But for those of you who made it, give yourself a big round of applause. Woo! Okay, so it's the last day of PyCon. Well, last day of the main conference anyway. So we will kickstart actually with something very exciting. And it's actually something that I really enjoy because then I can pick which events I'm gonna go to next. So we're gonna have all the regional Python conference event organizers here to present. So if you are, living somewhere, you're not near Pittsburgh, you want to find another event that you can go maybe in person, then this is the time.
Which is fantastic. And if for some reason you did not remotely send something in, of course, participate in the conversation. Use the hashtag PyConUS on Mastodon, or feel free to just start a conversation in your local space and say, hey, did you see that cool lineup that Chuck helped organize with everyone talking about their regional conference? I don't know, maybe start your own if you are so moved. But I think that is going to go ahead and be the last update I have. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to you.
Yeah, so let's show the beautiful slides that I've collected. Yes.
Awesome.
We have the slides. Yes. No, on this side. No, you're spoiling the first keynote. Yes, thank you. So please take us away.
Okay, hello awesome people who are sitting in this room and watching this throughout the globe. I'm Koti. I represent the PyCon of subcontinent, the PyCon India. So PyCon India is happening this year in Bangalore. It's the Silicon Valley of India, and it's a 4-day conference. And I'm here. So if you have any queries regarding that, I'll be around. Please get in touch with me. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to invite you to the EuroSciPy. This is a scientific Python conference in Europe. It will happen in the last week of August in the nice city of Szczecin in Poland. And by the way, you can even come if you cannot pronounce the name of the city. It's a very nice place. And you will meet a lot of core developers of libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and others.
PyCon APAC. So I have been to the PyCon APAC last year for the first time, and it's amazing. But what's more amazing about PyCon APAC is that it will change location every year. So this year is going to the beautiful country of Indonesia, and it's a beautiful city. It's going to be in October, but it's going to be warm there. So if you haven't been to Asia, haven't been to Indonesia, this is your chance to go there.
So, hi, I'm Deborah. I'm from Brazil, and I'm here to talk to you about Python Brazil, which is going to happen in that wonderful city of Rio de Janeiro in October 16 until October 21st. Python itself is also an event, as we say, by the community, for the community, like PyCon US, and it's the largest Python conference in Latin America. We have an auditorium for 1,000 people. It's going to be one of our biggest events, and Python Brazil prides itself on being a safe, friendly, inclusive, and accessible environment where everyone is welcome and can feel at ease, enjoying the best of the conference. So you are invited to go join us in Brazil and Rio de Janeiro. Thank you.
Hi there, this is Wei from Taiwan. So yeah, I'm here to promote PyCon Taiwan 2024, and we are going to held it in September 21st and 22nd. This is our first ever that we moved to Kaohsiung, the south of Taiwan. Yeah, it might be a little hot, but I promise you this is a good place for like vacation or something. And yeah, it's likely the last one, I'm not so sure. And one last thing is that PyCon Japan happened to happen in the next week of PyCon Taiwan, so this is the best chance you can visit Asia as a whole. You can come to Taiwan and maybe fly to Japan afterward. Yeah, welcome to Taiwan and probably Japan as well.
Okay, so PyCon Uganda. This is actually quite a young conference, and this is your chance to go to Africa, and it's, people there is amazing. I may go there. I'm very tempted because I've never been to the country and it seems amazing. So please note down the date and also the venue and check out their homepage and see more details.
Well, howdy. I'm Mason, and I help organize the PyTexas conference.
And I'm Josh, and I help organize the PyTexas meetup.
So the PyTexas conference, you just missed it. It's usually the first few weeks before PyCon, but we already have next year's website and everything ready. So the conference will be April 11th through 13th in Austin, Texas, and our CFP opens on October 1st.
And if you can't wait for all of that, we have the monthly meetup, which is the first Tuesday of every month at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can invite a little bit of Texas into your house through Discord. Our CFP is always open, and I'm looking for speakers. So if you're interested, let me know. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Yoshida from Japan. I'm a co-chair of the this year's PyCon JP. PyCon JP is the largest PyCon event in Japan. It will be held in the end of September and in Tokyo. We are current call for proposal and call for sponsors. Please submit. Thank you.
Hi everyone. So I'm excited to announce that PyCon Zimbabwe is coming back this year from the 31st of October to the 2nd of November. PyCon Zimbabwe had been stopped because of lack of sponsors, so we are hoping you are going to come on board to be our sponsor. We are also going to be partnering with a travel agent to have you move around to nice places in Zimbabwe. We host one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This year marks the 8th exciting edition, and we're bringing it to Medellin, a city renowned for its beautiful weather and welcoming people. We're thrilled to have an incredible lineup of 7 speakers, including Sebastian Ramirez, Lorena Barba, Quimish Goth, Matthew Harrison, Chrissy Wim van Lindbergh, and Marlene Margami. Get ready to deep dive into the world of Python and connect with fellow developers from June 7th to 9th. Don't miss your chance to be part of this amazing event. Thank you.
Hello. Since you're here at PyCon, I assume a few things about you. I assume you love Python conferences. I assume you love welcoming diverse and inclusive conferences, accessible conferences. I think you like cities with rivers in them and happy steel bridges, as well as cities that start with P. For all those reasons, you should come to PyCascades 2025, which will be February 8th and 9th at Revolution Hall in Portland. We'll be opening our CFP around August 15th. Those dates are still a little bit in flux. Keep an eye out early this summer when we'll be working on our CFP mentorship program, so first-time speakers or anyone who wants a little bit of help with their proposal can get some help. Thank you.
Hey, I have great news for the community. Last year, we have the first PyLadies Con. We were online, but we have a lot of keynotes talks from speakers around all of the world. We have talks in English, French, Chinese, Portuguese, Spanish, and this year we want to have more features for this conference, and we want to let you know we have PyLadies Con 2024, and
be tuned, because we are gonna have a lot of new things coming.
Yes, let's have a great PyLadies Con this year. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Christian. I'm here on behalf of the PyCon Sweden organizers. So if you're afraid of cold, maybe it's a good opportunity for you to visit Sweden because it will be summer. So the organizers gave me a few points for you to remember. So the conference will happen in November. There will also have in a beautiful location in Stockholm. And yeah, the CFP and the tickets will be available in June. So if you have any questions about it, you can go into info@pycon.se. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Mia, and I came here all the way from Prague, Czech Republic. This July, we are hosting the oldest volunteer-led Python conference on the planet, EuroPython. You can look forward to over 150 sessions, 20 tutorials, panel discussions, and most importantly, social events every night where you can enjoy our beautiful city with fellow attendees. See you in Prague. Thank you.
¿Qué tal, festival? We as a Python community in Chile organize two main events, PyCon at the end of the year and now PyDay, which is coming in June. What I love about PyDay is that it's a decentralized, self-organized event, so communities in different cities that change every year do this event. So I would love to see some of you on Valparaíso, Copiapó, or even other cities that might appear. So thank you.
That's me on behalf of PyLadies German chapters. So I have some notes. So PyLadies Germany currently have 4 chapters. Have Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, Südwest, which is southwest of Germany. But hoping to see more after PyCon, PyCon and PyCon.de. We have the PyLadies Fund from the Python Software Verband, which is the organization in Germany to support the Python community, to help new and existing chapters, and are always willing to share resources, workshop materials, and tips with you. If you want to find us, reach out in the PyLadies Slack in one of our city channels or City Germany, or you can contact Jessica Green, who sent me this slide. Thank you.
Good morning, PyCon. I'm Andrew. I am with Puppy, the Seattle area user group. We would love to see some of you out if you're in the Seattle area. We're always looking for speakers, and if you have a company that would like to host or sponsor a bunch of great Pythonistas, let me know. Thank you.
Kia ora, PyCon US. My name is Simon, and I've traveled from New Zealand to talk to you about Kiwi PyCon, our little PyCon down under. After running the southernmost Python conference in the world in 2023, this year we're returning to the capital and my favorite city, Wellington, New Zealand. The CFP is still open until May 23rd, and tickets and sponsorship are open as well. We'd love to see you in Wellington, New Zealand in August. Thank you very much.
Sorry, that's me. So PyCon Poland 2024 is going to be Glitzer Visit. I hope I pronounce it correctly. It's going to be in August, and the date is on the screen. There will be talks, workshops, tutorials, social events. Their social event is hardcore, I'm telling you. Please submit your proposal. The deadline is coming soon. Go to their website and check it out.
Hi, I'm from PyCon Korea, and this year it will happen this October 25-27. Yeah, it's not holding the Seoul, but it's 1 hour from Seoul. We will hold in the Suwon. Please send us some corporate proposals because we accept English. Yeah, our homepage is not ready, but it will happen. Thank you.
Good morning, PyCon. My name is Chris Brousseau. I am the PyBay Conference Chair, and I've brought with me the awesome PyBay Organizing Committee. For those of you who don't know, PyBay is the largest conference in the San Francisco Bay Area. It is our 9th year. 21 September is the day. If you want to come and network with high-powered Python developers, new Python developers at some of the greatest companies in the area, come check us out. If you want to speak at a conference with an audience of thousands of developers or our YouTube channel, talks for submission are available now through the end of July. And if you're a sponsor, we're looking for sponsorships. We'd like to thank also those who have committed early. It's been great. So PyBay.org, 21 September. Please join us. It's going to be awesome. Thank you.
All right, this is actually my event. I live in London. Hi. We are having a PyData London. The 10th time is the 10-year anniversary version of PyData London. It's going to be happening soon. I know if you live around London or in the UK, please come and join us. We have, like usual, we have tutorial days on Friday, and then the weekend. I know it's a Father's Day weekend, but come bring your kids and celebrate with us. We have free childcare at the beautiful Leonardo Royal Hotel, London, which is very near the beautiful Tower Bridge. That's not London Bridge, that's Tower Bridge. And or you can pay attention. We have it every year around the same time. You're very welcome to join us. And Next is another amazing event. It's PyCon Niger. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this country. But this is what they sent in. There's a website and they have a community there. Now they need your support for their conference, which is happening in September. So please go to their website and check out all the details. Next, there is another conference in Europe that would be PyCon Spain. And sorry about the slide. It's kind of sending like this. It's happening in October in the beautiful city of Vigo. I've only been to the Vigo airport, but I would love to visit it. And if I haven't mistaken, they have an English track as well. So please check it out. Next, we have PyCon Namibia. PyCon Namibia, and it's one of the conferences that I really, really, really love. It's my first Python conference in Africa. People there is so nice, so friendly, and there's a lot of young student that is very enthusiastic. If you want to have a really good experience and also maybe use the chance to visit this beautiful country, then PyCon Namibia, please note down the date. Another conference that PyCon Namibia was my first conference in Africa, but my second conference in Africa is in Ghana. So it's PyCon Africa, and it's gonna be in September. It's another country that I think you should definitely visit, and people there are super nice. They will teach you how to play their local board game, and we have fun, or go to negotiate in their market, which again, we had so much fun, and you can learn a little tips from the organizer how to bargain in the market, which is great. So, next we have PyCon Latam, which is the last event we are promoting today.
Hello. Imagine yourself in an all-inclusive hotel talking about Python with your favorite Pythonista in Mazatlan, Mexico. So that's basically what's going to be PyCon Latam this year. PyCon Latam is returning in Mexico in 19 and 22 of September. If you want more information, just scan this QR code. I hope to see you there. You don't want to miss this.
Okay, so that's it. That's all the event. I hope you have already chosen a few that you will go this year or maybe next year, because a lot of these events have conference happen every year. There are meetup as well, which you can join in person if you live locally, or join their online platform like Discord and all these online events. So that's great. Next, we have our first Lightning Talk speaker today. So if you are early, you may already have a peek of the slides, and it's going to talk about layoff. So Adam, please tell us what you're going to tell us.
Hi, I'm Adam. This talk is Help, I've been laid off, what do I do next? And we're going to answer this question, but first I want to tell you a completely hypothetical story. So it's 4:24 on a Monday afternoon, and you get a calendar invite in your inbox for the next day at 9:30 a.m., and it's a 15-minute meeting with HR and a boss 2 levels up that you've barely interacted with, and you get 0 sleep for the next 17 hours and 6 minutes because 15-minute meetings with HR and the grand boss usually don't end happily. And now it's 9:30 the next day, and said heretofore and boss reads off the legally approved script. Your job has been eliminated. Thank you for your efforts. This was an incredibly hard decision. The words rush over you as you're listening because you're listening but not listening. And then it's 11:47 p.m. and you're halfway through your second tub of ice cream and your 17-year career with a company is done. Month 1, you go on that vacation you canceled 6 months ago because what else are you going to do? And month 2, you finally start working out and you feel pretty good. And month 3, you go to your first ever PyCon and it was awesome. And month 4, you finally land an interview with an actual human being. And then month 5, that same human calls you up to say, I'm so sorry, you were an awesome candidate, and it was a really hard decision, and I hope you apply again sometime in the future. And you've been applying for jobs. And it's not fun because return rates are pretty dismal, and you're sick of making yet another Workday login and answering a dozen somewhat humiliating questions about yourself and your identity, but you do it anyway because applying for your jobs is your job right now. And now it's month 6, and the 127 job apps and the 6 failed interviews and the one optimistic story you're repeating to everyone is all starting to wear. But what you're actually thinking about every day is the same thing you started thinking about on day 1 at 9:46 a.m. You're thinking about how it happened and why it happened, and no amount of rationalization or advice from mentors or support from friends and family and loved ones can eradicate that single core doubt that getting laid off was somehow all your fault. You were chosen, after all, so clearly it was something you did, or maybe something you didn't. You could have worked better, worked harder, put in extra effort, made less mistakes, been more productive, seen a therapist, gotten medication for your mental health, or worked out, or fixed your sleep schedule, or tried to get less sick, answered emails faster, moved less meetings, done more trainings, closed more tickets, wrote more code, wrote more docs, more tests, more PowerPoints, more dashboards, kept your mouth shut, towed the company line, networked up, networked down, been more positive, done something, done anything. And you don't talk about it with anyone because talking about things like shame and hurt is hard and painful. You don't talk about it. I didn't talk about it. But I'm on the other side of it now, with a job I genuinely love and a small bit of perspective. It wasn't about me, and it wasn't my fault. And it wasn't your fault either. To those of you that are hurting, I am sorry for what you're going through. It sucks so much. And if you want to talk or vent or ask questions or cry or laugh or reminisce or anything at all, I am here. And so here's that answer to the question, my one Trey Hunter takeaway. When you are ready, ask for help. Can I ask that everyone who knows someone who's been laid off in the last 2 years raise their hand? Look around the room. This is PyCon, and we are Pythonistas, and there is no one better place to help this community. And they are here if you just spend at least 5 minutes having a conversation with a person. So please help. Thank you, and God bless you.
Okay, that's great. Actually, yeah, I have also left my full-time role a while ago, so it's really, I think all of us can resonate. So next, we actually have a very, I personally found interesting talk. It's about what's the similarity between Python and sword fighting. So thank you. Take us away.
Hi, I'm Anne. I use they, them pronouns. I am here to tell you about the similarities between Python programming and sword fighting. That is a hard act to follow, but I'm going to do my best. So, about me real quick, I've been a programmer professionally since 2015 using Python among other languages. I'm a staff software engineer at Flatiron Health. I am also the Rapier Safety Marshal for the Barony of Cairta, which is the Denver, Colorado chapter of the Society for Creative Anachronism. We're a medieval history-focused nonprofit. This picture is of me sword fighting. I am the one in green holding a sword. So, first takeaway, it's important to stay hydrated at events. So I often go to SCA events in the American Southwest, at Elevation particularly. At the events I'm at in Colorado and New Mexico, it's important to drink a lot of water. While we're basically at sea level right now, this is also true at PyCon. Next, following a reference is how you get started. So the picture on the left is a cover of a book about how to interpret Destreza, who is a historical Spanish fencing master who wrote about how to learn to defend yourself with a sword. So I often learn basics by reading, so I find it useful. You might be different. On the right is a screenshot of what's new in Python 3.12, which is another thing you can learn by reading. Next. Reading is different than doing it in real life. When someone new comes to our fencing practice for the first time, I get them in armor as soon as possible. Watching people do it is not nearly as much fun to me as actually doing it. Another place where this is true is software development. The things I learned in my first year working out of college were things that would never have come up had I not been in a production environment. I was good at school, but that didn't mean I knew how things really worked. This is probably other than staying hydrated, the most relevant one. Both involve headspace and analytical thinking about your opponent. So people often compare fencing to chess. Once you've got the basics down, the strategy begins. You start looking for tells in your opponent, and your presence in headspace, how quickly you react, and what you react with almost always determine if you win or lose. The computer is your opponent in Python. Your mental model of how a program acts and reacts is how you determine your success. And lastly, it's as much about the people as it is about the activity itself. So when I moved to Denver 3 years ago, I moved for work. I had never visited Denver, and I didn't know anyone there aside from a couple coworkers who I had known only online. So when I moved, I looked up the local SCA sword fighting group on Facebook. Yes, they use Facebook. And they welcomed me, and now Denver is my home. So I'm sure you've heard on the stage before, like maybe 20 minutes ago, PyCon is by the community for the community. So it's about the people. Thank you for having me.
I swear, I'm waiting to hear about a hobby like that I have never heard of. For example, the fact that sword fighting is something that a Pythonista here does. I'm no longer shocked. Color me blue. Waiting for someone to tell me about a hobby that I would never expect to hear at Python in the Python spaces, but y'all are just so cool and so fascinating. So I just love it very, very much. But our next speaker is going to tell us a little bit about Python in a non-Python environment. So Nina, if you want to go ahead and take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me very early this morning. So today I'm going to talk about a situation many of you have probably faced or could potentially face at some point in the future. But first I wanted to introduce myself. So my name is Nina Beecham. I'm a current graduate student in data science. I also work as an institutional research analyst. I've been using Python since 2021, and since I've learned it, I've been working in the domain of higher education and nonprofit, which brings me to a conundrum I've been faced with multiple times. So the conundrum is, if I'm the only person in my workplace that uses Python, how can I foster an environment in my workplace where other employees can harness the benefits of Python without not necessarily knowing it? And as it turns out, there are 3 R's that allow you to do that. One is a concept, another is a practice, and then the last is a tool, and I am happy to share them all with you today. So the first R is reproducibility, and it's basically a concept that anyone should be able to replicate your results. They should be able to follow all the steps you followed from A to B and get the same results as you. And as a solution to this issue, there are 2 things I've really tried. So the first one is for projects to keep a journal. I typically keep a OneNote journal and essentially document the different steps of my project, including what issues I faced, best practices, different people I collaborated with who provided helpful things, and et cetera. And then for my Python scripts in particular, in addition to having good documentation within my Python scripts themselves, having very detailed doc strings and comments. And the idea behind this is that anyone who's reading my code, regardless of if they understand Python or not, they should be able to follow along what I did just from the comments. The next R is relative paths, and it's more so a practice that I like to keep in mind. So this issue helps with reading data from different working directories. If in your workplace you're using some sort of cloud-based storage, such as Box, you're most likely going to have run into an issue with your scripts, where if you want to pull from specific data, other people are going to run into an issue if you're using relative paths in your script. So, I'm sorry, if you're using absolute paths in your script. So relative paths allows you to kind of avoid that issue. It also forces you to really maintain clear folder structures. So in addition to people being able to read your scripts from essentially anywhere, they should also be able to find where things are at. So everything's clearly labeled and organized, and there's clear structures for the projects that you're working on. And then last but not least, the final R is reconciliation. And it's related to two issues. So the first is, say you have many Python scripts you want to use, how do you export them to non-Python users? So people who don't have Python installed in their computers overall. And then also for users that do have Python installed, but maybe they have conflicting versions, or the packages that they have are different versions than what you have installed in your computer, what you use for your script. So the solution to this is to create an executable file, which essentially packages your Python script into an application, along with any necessary packages or dependencies that you use. And the benefit of this is it essentially allows you to export your script without the end user or client having to have Python installed, without needing to have any knowledge of Python, really. I typically use PyInstaller for this. I know there are other libraries out there, but my go-to is typically PyInstaller. I do want to mention, too, that as you scale up and you're using more data and bigger apps, this might not work, but definitely as a first start, if you're really trying to create proposals and get your office to harness the power of Python, it's definitely a good first step and a tool to consider. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you very much for joining me. And if you want access to the slides and additional resources, you can use the QR code. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I know a lot of you who is like attending PyCon for the first time, or this may be your first conference. Some of you, well, a lot of you may be like, oh, this is, I do it every year. I come here every year. But going to such a big event, I'm sure it's like you get inspired, and then maybe kind of like you may bring something back to your day-to-day life. So next speaker will tell us about his experience and how it impacts him. Thank you.
Hey, I hope everyone is doing well. I'm Shvai. I'm a contributor at sponsor for Robin, which is one of the fastest web frameworks in the entire world for Python. And I'm also a dev advocate at Pieces. And you can follow me on how to develop. So my talk is all about experience sharing, what I've learned from attending PyCon for the past 3 years consecutively, and how it has helped me and my community to grow better in every single possible way. So this talk is not really about what is there in this content, but about my journey, and it's full of emotions for me. Not many folks in this world get to attend a conference like this. Some lucky folks like me get an opportunity to present in perhaps the world's most well-structured event that's possibly there. And the only words that come out for me by attending PyCon is just being grateful. Grateful for the fact that PyCon allowed me to be in my first ever PyCon on scholarship, and then of course the following years as a speaker. And I just want to share that whatever I've learned from this conference and to be shared with everyone out in this world as well. So I'd like to just kind of cover the last 3 years. So PyCon 2022 was my first ever PyCon. I got to attend the Education Summit on my first day itself, and I signed up for a lightning talk, and that actually became my first ever international conference talk in my experience. And from there, that helped me to give conference talks at more than 30 to 40 different conferences around the world. So that just speaks to volume of how much I was able to learn. And I spoke about how I had been helping the Python Delhi and the Python Hindi community by contributing to resources for Python in Free Code Camp. And then I also got selected for a lightning talk, speaking in front of thousands of people about my favorite project, which is Robin, a web framework written by Sanskar, and it is a dream come true for me as well. So all I took away from this conference was all the latest changes in Python, but also learning from the world's best. The next year in 2023 was just expanding from my first year as a novice. I got to be a volunteer, got to be involved with running some sprints for Robin, and also actually presenting a poster for the first time ever in my life. And meeting some of the best creators of the most famous frameworks in Python, the creator of Python himself. So every day was a meaningful day. And here we are in 2024, presenting a poster again, giving a lightning talk again, and meeting a lot of my old friends and attending sprints. So it feels the same to someone outside, to be the same, yet every experience and every learning opportunity is brand new. And so it's all worth it, and I'll definitely not stop coming to a PyCon in my life again. I'll definitely come every single year, if possible. So what I've learned, empathy, 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 what? So, I mean, the point is that empathy is all about PyCon, right? PyCon resonates, or PyCon just shouts empathy. Whether it's empathy about new learnings, following new developers, towards empathy towards open source maintainers, towards new contributors, towards nature. PyCon really provides an holistic experience, nothing matches close to it. And being able to share your views, giving every single person in as an attendee the opportunity to interact through open spaces, through lightning talks. The possibilities are endless, whether you're a new person joining in or you are a master of having attended PyCons for the last 10 years. There's opportunity for every single person. And this has helped me to gain strong skills towards just being more empathetic towards everyone and leveraging them to help my community in India and empowering thousands of developers to learn the latest in the field of Python and mentoring in things like hackathons. And of course, really the point is that how can one make the best out of your experience? So, there are a number of different things. You can attend talks, you can network with folks, you can join sprints, you can sign up for lightning talks and be one of, like me, to go on to, present like 40, 50 different conference talks in less than 2 years, because I got that confidence to speak in front and just know that, yes, everyone has their own opinion and everyone can share that. And that is why this lightning talk is such an impressive space that if you have the slightest of different opinion or you're working on something interesting, this is your space. This is where you present. And speak with sponsors, join and conduct open spaces. If you have a topic in mind, go there. People will be there. People will share similar opinion to you and volunteer for different events, right? So how can we give back to the community? A single-minded focus towards making great impact. Look at your local communities. Look at ways in which you can empower developers within your community in Python or in any other technology for that matter. And people who don't have access to resources, how you can help them. Share your experiences and with folks that encourages you to apply to PyCons. We saw so many different PyCons across the entire world. And encourage them because you're learning about this. So share it with all the other folks in your own community. And that's what really helps us empower and make this a truly inclusive community for every single person that's out there. And be ambassador. Be an ambassador from the learnings that you get from PyCons and share it across with the world because it's free. It's free to be an ambassador and it's very empowering to be an ambassador. And spread that empathy and learn and grow together. Now, I know I'm out of time, but I also just wanted to give a shout out to a really personal project of my own that I'm really passionate about, which is, that's empathy. And it's also empathy towards
Thank you so much. We appreciate your lightning talk.
Yeah.
What I love about this, though, is a perfect example of how you can go from your first PyCon to doing a poster, to being a lightning talk speaker, to taking photos with a cardboard, various size of the language creator. I don't know what better way to say it. Various sizes of Guido as a cardboard cutout. And I thank you so much for your talk. And I love the takeaway about thinking about empathy. As a reminder, though, like our previous speaker pointed out, we do have posters today. that are going to be in the main expo hall as well as the job fair. Definitely check it out. And I'm going to go ahead now and turn over to our next lightning talk speaker, who it might be talking about dogs, distributed something or another. But Israel, let's go ahead and have you take it away.
Hi. Well, my name is Israel. I am from Spain, and I work as software engineer at Red Hat. And well, the thing is that, well, I also participate with different community programs and everything. But well, the thing is that today we are going to talk about problems. Okay? So imagine that you are somebody happy. Let's imagine it for a second. Well, you are an SRE or a developer or something, right? Somebody calls you and say, hey, everything is on fire. The system is not working anymore, right? So please, can you take a look? So if your company has some kind of tools to check what's going wrong, right? You maybe are not going to be pretty sad, but otherwise, very likely, the best thing that you can do is to open LinkedIn, right? And go to somewhere else. But well, the things that, the kind of tools that people put in place in order to find these kind of problems, right? It's observability stuff. Observability is just send a lot of data to a central location, right? Like a Sauron eye, to see exactly what is going to happen, right? And you have correlation of the different information and everything. So usually you send metrics, logs, and traces, right? And this talk actually is about the last thing because I work in the distributed tracing team and not many people talk about this, right? They don't know. Big customers, they don't know about this thing. Well, so the thing is that let's imagine that this is your dashboard, right? So you have this thing here, you have some applications that seems to not be working pretty well. Others are working, others you don't even have data, you don't know why. And others are working well, but not so much, and later they are failing or something, right? But you don't have too many contexts. The only thing that you have is that they are failing. This is because you have metrics, right? You have a metrics that is saying, hey, you have this thing is returning a lot of errors or it's performing pretty bad, right? Okay, so after opening your dashboard, the only thing that you can see is that everything is on fire, okay? Well, so you go and try to check the logs, right? Application by application, right? You get the logs. Who deploys on Friday? This is the only thing that you have, right? Okay, and this is not your face because you have to go application by application and you don't know exactly what's going on, right? Okay, so now if you are able to find at least what application is actually causing the full problem in the downstream services and everything, right? Maybe you can have something. Okay, so the thing is that with the metrics, you can see, hey, there is an issue. With the logs, what is the issue? If you are able to find it, right? And with the traces, we are going to see. So distributed tracing aims to solve the free dogs problem. What is that? How is this dog doing? Is it, right? How about this one? This one is sad, but apart from that, okay, so that is the real thing. So with metrics and logs, you have partially what's happening in your system, but you don't have exactly the full transaction. This is what distributed tracing came to fix, okay? So the thing is that with distributed tracing, it's like you have logs that are time-stamped, right? And you can generate graphs about how every request, how the different transactions are working on your system, right? So you can get profiling and also how your applications are like performing on production, right? So this is, for instance, how Jagger, that is one of the most well-known tools, looks like, right? So this will be a request, right? And as you can see, it's pretty long, and you can see for the different parameters that you are having, right, how much time you are spending in different parts of your operation, right? So this is amazing. Okay. Well, this is how it looks like. I was expecting the Wi-Fi not working, so. Okay, so there are different tools that are open source that are pretty amazing, like Jaeger, Zipkin, or Grafana Tempo. I encourage you to take a look. And to gather all the information, you can use OpenTelemetry. That is a pretty amazing, let's say, framework, because it has a lot of SDKs and things that you can use to gather your information, your metrics, logs, and traces. And pretty soon, also continuous profiling. And the things that you can find a lot of libraries to instrument your code. So you don't need to change your code to have automatically these kind of things, right? So it's amazing. So conclusions. Metrics and logs are nice, but incomplete. Traces are great. and OpenTelemetry is awesome. Thank you.
I really, really like the doggy picture. That's so cute. Yes, I'm a dog person. Sorry. Now time just flies, and we have our last Lightning talk for this PyCon. But I hope it's the good one, because it's going to talk about how students can code together. So please give the biggest round of applause. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey there. Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to talk about hacking in high school. I'm Gaurav. I'm 17, and I've just graduated from high school. But before I start, I want to thank all of these organizations who helped me throughout my high school to be what I'm today, from PyCon Italy, PyCon US, Hack Club, Code Day, Yale Global Scholars, and of course, my school. Let's start talking about boba, pizza, hiking, gaming, art, and finance. Sounds cool, isn't it? Or let's talk about websites, coding clubs, PCBs, programming, hackathons, and open source. But we have only 5 minutes today, so let's talk quickly. 2 years ago, when I was in grade 11, I found my second home called Hack Club. By the students, for the students, and just the teens only. And Hack Club loves open source. And almost everything we do is open source, from our finance, events, code, and etc. This is a picture of me and my friends, all in high school. We organized a 42 hours non-stop hackathon in Delhi NCR, India, for teens around the world. We looked at in this photo because we took this at the end of our hackathon by working non-stop. And together, we learned a lot, from programming to event organizing to meeting new people and much more. And this is our last year picture, where we ventured out to the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont for Outernet, a 4-day experimental coding camping trip. Together, we turned a semi-abandoned campsite into a bustling hacker oasis. And this year, we'll be hiking 7-day in California, and the best part is, all the equipment we're going to use, we're going to build it by ourselves with PCBs. And from open sourcing everything, from Sprig, SignWriter, to our websites. I'm going to talk about this in a bit later, but our finances are also open, and our events are also open source. Open sourcing is cool, but what even cool is building and shipping together. And we believe we are at our best when we are making together. Just as the best carpenters didn't learn in the classroom, neither did the best programmers. And we together shipped lots of stuff. Let's start with Sprig. But what is even Sprig is? It is a custom-made gaming console for every player, where every player is a creator. From our engine, editor, firmware, and hardware, everything is open source on GitHub. PCBs, PCBs, and PCBs. The modern world runs on phones, from our washing machine to what's not. And we build PCBs for fun, just for learn how to build PCBs, because school never teaches us how to build PCBs. SignWriter, a game about love and graphing, and which includes mathematical trigonometric functions, which is already built by teenagers at Hack Club. This is one of my favorite projects at Hack. A Blot, a CNC machine, which may be fun, given us a beginner-friendly introduction to digital fabrication, or Slack. We talk about coding, music, films, art, and much more. If you're a high schooler, this is a place to be. I still remember our late night Zoom calls where we prepare for our final exams. And that's all from my side. I love Hack Club, and this is where all my journey started. If you're a high schooler or a teen, there is no better place in this planet from Hack Club than for you. Enjoy this article about putting you in a CPU by one of our Hack Club community members. Thank you.
And thus concludes Lightning Talks at PyCon 2024. Can we get a final round of applause for all of the amazing Lightning Talks?
Yeah, so I feel a bit emotional because, like, yeah, all the fun's kind of, but we still have the sprint. So tomorrow we will have starting our epic 4-day sprint. And today, before the closing, or in the evening, would there be an orientation? Anybody know? Marietta?
I think there will be introduction to open source projects at the tail end of the day. So keep that in mind if you have a project you want to hack on, if you want to find people to hack on a project with. I mean, we just heard about a cool hack club. By the way, I didn't have anything as cool as that in high school. Like at high school, they were like, ha, you showed up. Good job, kid. So I love seeing the ways in which all of you are embracing each other. I love the takeaways of empathy. I love how we're teaching each other. Please, please, please continue to pay it forward. We had all the amazing regional talks and upcoming conferences. So if you're having that fear of missing out on all the Python stuff, remember, just go check the videos when they're posted about next week. And you can definitely find there seems to be a lot of stuff in September. Also, obviously, all year round. But I think that being said, I just want to, again, thank you all for being a fantastic audience. And at 9 a.m., we will continue. So please just stay tight. We'll continue very shortly. And with that, I think we just want to say, have a fantastic rest of your PyCon. Thank you.
Thank you.